Guys, what's up? Darcy here at 6 Strings 9 Lives, back for another box set video. This one is kind of a follow-up or companion piece to this awesome set I picked up about a month ago. Van Halen, 1978 to 1984. Those 6 classic albums, David Lee Roth on vocals. Just a well put together set. I did a video on this one if you'd like to check it out. But before we get into what we're doing today, we'll just cover off a couple of things that are coming up on the channel. And if you are new to the channel, welcome. And if you're one of the usual suspects, welcome to you. I always appreciate you guys chatting in the comments and taking the time out to hang out with me. I really appreciate that. So a few things that are brewing, still brewing, is that Rush ranking. I'm almost there. It's, you know what, I love Rush. They have such a great discography. Not a lot of weakness. There really isn't, you know, much for shit in their discography. So, but I assure you that video will be coming. Also, I have a couple other box sets on the way. Wasp for one, which is released October 27th. So hopefully in and around that release day, I will do kind of a breakdown like I do with these, where I give you my thoughts, we do some comparisons, and at the end we'll do the mini ranking, just like we will today. Also, there is a Winger box set coming out, I think November 14th, of the first 3 studio albums, kind of the Atlantic Years stuff. I have that one on the way. And another video that I'm working on that should be next, you know, earlier next week or whatever, is another episode of 6 with 6 Strings. So if you're familiar with those episodes, you know, just me grabbing 6 albums. But in this case, I am grabbing 6 bands. The title will be something like, do these bands mean less to me these days? And what I mean by that is, back in the day, they were way higher up on the food chain, whatever you want to say. They were just way more important to me. And these days, I don't know, I think I feel a little bit differently. I don't hate these bands in any shape or form, but they're just not as high on my radar these days, put it that way. So I'm going to do that one, and that should be next, like I said. But for today, you're here for a Van Halen video. And like I said, I'm going to, let's just hold up this set that we're going to talk about today. This was released October 6th, which is actually the 3rd anniversary of Eddie Van Halen's death. May he rest in peace. Miss Eddie, he's such a, well, one of my favorite guitar players of all time. But love this artwork on the front. This is where less is more. I love this rendition or whatever of the Van Halen logo with the rings, you know, kind of represents the Sammy era. And I am, you know, if, you know, push came to shove, pun intended, I am a Dave guy, but I love the Sammy era too. So when this was announced, I pretty much couldn't pull the trigger fast enough. I only have one of these on vinyl, original pressing, I should say, which I did some comparisons, some side by side. We'll talk about that shortly. But, you know, at least 2 out of 4 of these, like for unlawful carnal knowledge and balance, are super pricey and hard to find. Actually, I saw a copy of Balance about 2 years ago for $200 in pretty good condition, but I'm like, that's crazy. Actually, what I should have told you too is the pre-order for this. Let me just show you this here. I want to show you how these are all in here first. It's not tight, it's not loose, it's just perfect. These slide out great. So these include those 4 studio albums and that disc of Rarities, or whatever they're going to call it. We'll review that here shortly. But yeah, initial pre-order price here in Canada, so you'd have to convert your own currency, was $152.52, which for 5 albums I thought was super reasonable. Since then, it's up to $185.52, so it's already increased $33. Some stuff like this, I'm going to tell you, this one, I can't see it going down. Super popular, in demand for sure. People have been waiting for, like I said, For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge and Balance, people have been waiting for a long time to get those into their collection on vinyl. This set was also released on CD, just so you're aware. If you're a CD, I buy a little of both. Even still got the old cassettes in the collection too. But anyways, like I said, I got in on the pre-order, so I got it for $152. So great value, first of all. But what I'm going to do is kind of go through each album. And I did say that, actually, you know what? I want to show you this too, because this is how this is going to look on the shelf together, side by side. You got the classic logo, then you got the, that 86 ring logo, which I've always loved. Van Halen basically uses, two type of logos on their albums. They either go with these or just their name spelt in pretty much the same font. Maybe Diver Down was a little bit different, but other than that, they kind of stuck to that, and I always liked that. I'll just set this one aside for now. So anyways, great sturdy box, just like the other one. So now I have 10 out of 12 Van Halen studio albums on vinyl. Very happy to have them. So first up in this set is 1986's 5150. And here is the brand new reissue, which these were, I'll read you the hype sticker, 5 LPs remastered from the original tapes by Bernie Grunman and overseen by Don Landee, who is a has been involved with Van Halen for years. So we got 5150, OU812 for Unlawful Carnal Knowledge, Balance, and Disc 5 is Studio Rarities 1989 to 2004. Rare, that's a stretch, but glad to have them all in one. I'm glad they did that. But so here is this one, and I do have a original pressing, Canadian pressing on vinyl. So comparison-wise, we'll talk a little bit about the sound, and let's start off with just the artwork. So there is, actually let's flip-flop this. So the original pressing is on the bottom here. Here is the reissue on top. You can see there's a little bit of darkness. It's lost a little bit of the definition. Sharpness in the Van Halen logo definitely goes to the original pressing. But I'm going to tell you, it's nothing to worry about. If you're just wanting to get these into your collection, they're just fine. They're maybe a little bit on the darkness, and that's kind of what I've witnessed with a lot of these box sets. They're not exactly perfect, but man, you know what? 97% perfect is good enough for me. If you're just wanting to hear these albums and enjoy them from, back in the day you pick them up, stuff like that, which is my case at my age. I was around to pick up all of these. Sound-wise, I did a side-by-side, back-and-forth comparison of the original and this reissue. There is not a lot of difference. I did have to turn up the volume on the reissue to achieve the same level, if that makes any sense. I'm not an audiophile, super trained ear for this. I just enjoy the music because I enjoy the music type of thing. So there's not a lot there. They're very bright. There's some great warm spots in these albums, but overall I have just no complaints for sound-wise. Inner sleeve. Let's talk about inner sleeves too. These were sent actually inside the inner sleeve. So there is a exact rendition of the original, but the vinyl in here was right inside here, and it was super staticky, like just vacuum packed. What I'll do is literally blow into the bag, get some airflow, because to reef those out, that's probably not a good idea. You're probably going to end up scratching stuff, but good replica of the inner sleeve, no trouble there. As far as the center rings go, the David Lee Roth set had 5 out of 6 that looked like this. The Van Halen had the kind of the Warner palm tree logo, and this set has 3 out of 4 that look like this, and one I will show you shortly. But yeah, just a nice plain Warner Brothers logo. 180 gram vinyl, which I was worried. I did watch 2 or 3 videos of people unboxing. Actually, I watched Sammy and Mike do an unboxing, and the vinyl they held up was in bad shape. There was unfortunately seam splits right on the top of I think all 5 vinyl from the set that Mike was holding, and I was worried that mine would come that way, but I only got 1 little seam split in a inner sleeve, none on the jackets, so that's awesome. I will show you that. And that's bound to happen with 180 gram vinyl. It should be packaged a little bit differently. It's heavy, but there's the first one. Second one in the set is 1988's OU812. Now, I don't have the vinyl to compare this to. Sound-wise, I did listen to my CD. This vinyl just sounds phenomenal. But here is the original cover of my CD, or the cover of my original CD, I meant to say. Now, this vinyl reissue it's better. I know it's already bigger, obviously, but if you can just focus on Sammy's hair, man, it's better here. This black and white photo it's just much better on this one. I always love this album cover too, and that the Van Halen logo used that way. Letters are a little closer together than normal, than other albums, but yeah, they did a great job on this cover. Flip it over, there's the back. And the inner sleeve on this one, it's just spot on. I do know what the original inner sleeve looks like, and it looks like this. So here's the kind of that hands out of the water, and we have the lyrics and some credits and band info right here. On here, also on here was, yeah, this is pretty cool. This one's for you, Pa. So shortly after, actually it was like 2 months after 5150 was released, Jan Van Halen passed away. That's Eddie and Alex's father. So he passed away in, I think, May 86. So yeah, they had to put a nice little tribute on here for their father on here. That's pretty neat. And the vinyl wise, this is the one that does have the different logo, or sorry, center ring, not logo. So it says this side, other side. Pretty cool with that hands. And then this is even cooler for the B-side. Now this one, I've never listened to this album without the last track, Political Blues, which they put onto the Rarities album. So I did not even really know that this track was removed or never existed on the vinyl version. I've only really heard the CD version, which I'm fine with that track not being on there. It's a cover song. Little Feat, I think the band is. It's really not even a great song. So that makes this album even more enjoyable. So I'm just going to set these aside for that little mini ranking at the end. And like I said, the sound-wise, really good. I mean, OU812 never had the most bright production to begin with, if I'm explaining that right, but this vinyl actually sounds better than my CD. Third in the set is 1991's For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge, and I had to dig up my old ticket stub. I got to see them on this tour in November of 1991, and if you can focus in on that price, I paid even with tax, $34.50 to see Van Halen live. What a concert that was. Just a fantastic show. Great album too, but we will get into that little mini ranking at the end, so I don't want to give too much away. There's a track listing, which is not always on the back of a Van Halen album or even a out of order type of thing. But let's show you what's inside. And actually all of these are black inside, opposed to my original pressing that's white. Let's do a little comparison with the CD. Now, this, I've never seen a live version, like in the flesh version of this on vinyl, but I've seen pictures of one, and I think they all look more like this, a little more shiny. This one is definitely, the reissue here is darker. The Van Halen ring logo is not quite as sharp, and the back cover too is, yeah, you can definitely see the color difference there, but super acceptable. Like I said earlier, that's nothing to worry about, unless you're that picky. That's fine too, that you want to have an original pressing. I mean, if I saw one for a decent price, I'd definitely pick one up, but super acceptable, no problem whatsoever with that. And the inner sleeve is exactly like the original. We got a nice collage on this side, and then I love this photo of them doing some backing vocals together. Just awesome. And yeah, like I said earlier, super vacuum packed in there. I've since changed or added inner sleeves. These ones are from a Vinyl Storage Solution. Great company out of Canada. I think they're out of Winnipeg. So if you want to look them up, they have tons of stuff available. Vinyl Storage Solutions. Give them a little plug. Like I said, they do a great job. And the vinyl on this one, you got kind of that generic or plain center ring. But these, I've spun them all. My set did not come right away. I only had this for, I think, 2 to 3 days now, but I've spent a lot of time over those 3 days listening to everything, and hopefully provide you with a little bit of hopefully valuable information if you want to make a decision on purchasing this set. Now, the fourth album and last studio album to feature Sammy is Balance from 1995. Now, I know the set says on the side, it says 1986 to 1996. So I think those couple of tracks from this Twister soundtrack, or correct me if I'm wrong, but I think those were released in 1996, which is Respect the Wind and Humans Being. But they're on that Rarities. I'll show you that here shortly. Here's the back cover. I have my CD. I don't have I wish I had an original pressing on vinyl, but here it's a little bit darker on this one here, a little more shiny. Maybe it's just the paper of the CD version, but you can tell, the background right here around the logo is a little bit on the darker side, but overall, just a fantastic rendition, or whatever you want to call it, of that cover. And I always love this back cover shot too. Now, this one threw me for a bit of a loop, not sound wise, because it sounds excellent. The track listing I'm used to is the CD track listing, which, if you know, they took out, or it never was, what I'm trying to say is Bellichitherium, that's a tough word to say, is not on the vinyl version of this. Now, if you were wishing or hoping, I wish it would have been. It is a fantastic instrumental, and I would trade it for the combination of Strung Out and Doing Time. I would trade it any day to put this on the album, because, like I said, what a great instrumental, especially near the end. I mean, Michael's bass, it's like brum, brum, brum. It's just, I know that wasn't great, but if you know the album, you'll know what I'm saying. But it's not the case. But tracks 1 through 5 on this 7 Seal, Can't Stop Loving You, Don't Tell Me That You Love Me, Amsterdam, and Big Fat Money are all the same. And then it kind of gets jumbled around in the middle. And then the last 2 tracks are the same as the CD, with Take Me Back and Feeling. But anyways, we can talk a little bit more about tracks here when we do the mini ranking. Let's show you what's inside. This is a, love this shot. This is so cool. Now, this side, lyrics, a little bit of credits. And this is the same as the original. Maybe not the same paper. I think the original had more of a shiny. This is kind of a matte. Let me know in the comments if you have an original of Balance. And then the vinyl itself, there's that center ring. So 3 out of 4 look like this. And actually, I should say 3 out of 5 look like this, because there's a bit of a surprise on this last one that I was pleasantly surprised what they did. So there's the vinyl for that. And I'm just going to grab a quick sip. But yeah, great job on the album cover. And like I said, I always love that shot. So I got these set aside for now. And last to include in this set is the Rarity. How is it worded? Studio Rarities 1989 to 2004. Yeah, like I said, I'm not sure about the Rarity part. We have the removed tracks from the vinyl version. So we have a Political Blues, Bellich Ethereum, and then crossing over is a B-side. I think Van Halen's only B-side that exists. It was Can't Stop Loving You. CD single is crossing over, so I've never had that song on any format. Respect the Wind. I don't own the soundtrack, so there's that. Then we got Humans Being from the Best of Volume 1, and then we got the 3 tracks from the Best of Both Worlds, which were done in around 2003 or 4. It's About Time, Up for Breakfast, and Learning to See. Love this photo. This is obviously photos that are left over from the Balance photo shoot. They're all the same sunglasses. Mike's clean shaven. Eddie's got his cool haircut, and that is a cool shot on the back. So this is the only one that did come with an anti-static sleeve, a black one. But you've already saw a sneak peek of that inner sleeve. Or sorry, that center ring. I love it. It looks great. And that's the same on the both sides. So kind of got another little mini Van Halen album. So I love that they did that. I wish on that Roth set that they would have even added like a 10-inch or something of Me Wise Magic and Can't Get This Good Stuff No More. Because I tell you, Me Wise Magic is one of my favorite Van Halen albums of all time. I meant songs. The backing vocals on there and just, I don't know, just a great song. So I wish that would come up in some sort of format. So let's wrap this up with a little mini ranking. But yeah, let's do that, and then we'll just kind of close out here at the end. Now, as per my box set videos, I like to start off with my favorite of, well, we're going to start off with a favorite of my 4, but I'll just warn you right now, there's no bad album with these 4. There's some cheesy lyrics, some not so great songs, but overall, I love all 4 of these albums. I truly do. But number 1 is For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge. Not because I didn't pick this one because I saw them, or I picked it because it's just the best of the Sammy era. This is just such a solid album. There's still a couple, cheesy songs like Spanked and In and Out, but the other tracks like Pound Cake, Judgment Day, the totally awesome, underrated Pleasure Dome, which I absolutely love that song. Right Now, that. It's just epic. It's an awesome song. Ending off this album with Top of the World. You got one little instrumental on here, 316. But yeah, just overall, definitely a great album. And I would, if for some unknown reason you're not familiar with Van Halen, go and check this one out for sure. Number 2 and number 3, these are pretty much the same. You might as well, they could flip-flop. One's at 51%, one's at 49%. But yeah, my second favorite of the bunch is 1988's OU812. Love this album since it came out. It's not as heavy in the keyboards as 5150, but it definitely has the keyboards they're there. They're just not as prominent as, like I said, 5150, but great tracks on here. Of course, the track listing isn't on the back here, but great tracks like Mine All Mine. Love that track. I'll just have to look because I don't want to mess up here. My favorite track on this album is Source of Infection. That's a speedy track. It's awesome. High energy. As silly as some of the lyrics are on Sucker in a 3-piece suit, the music is awesome. And the solo is awesome, as well as the solo on Cabo Wabo. Check that one out too. Number 3 is 5150. So I was thinking back to the day when, the big change, Dave left the band, Sammy's in. I like this from day one. There wasn't a lot of stress. I mean, obviously there's nothing I can do about something like that. I just, embraced it and have stuck with Van Halen ever since. But 5150, the track listing, of course, is not on the back of that one either. This one starts off, I've never really been a big fan of that "Hello, Baby," but whatever. The song is great. Good Enough is awesome. My favorite track on this album is called Get Up. My least favorite track that I almost never want, I just want to actually end this album after I listen to 5150, because Inside is not a great track. It just seems so thrown together, and I don't know. But it's not total shit, but I just usually skip that track. So there's number 3, and we'll wrap it up with number 4. And by no means is this a bad album. Just getting used to the track listing on this. But this one starts off so strong with the 7th Seal, Can't Stop Loving You, Don't Tell Me What Love Can Do. Amsterdam, it's not bad. Big Fat Money, little cheese on those lyrics. Not the greatest song either. But a couple other ones that really stick out for me is Aftershock and Not Enough. Those are great tracks too. And like I said, out of these 4 albums, it's hard to choose. They're all so good. But that is my little take on, well, there's my mini ranking. Now, if you're interested in this set, the value is there. Don't wait too long. You don't want that price shooting up through the roof. You get to $200. It's a lot of money to invest, but great set. I've been a long-time Van Halen fan. Happy to have these side by side in my collection. So hope you enjoyed that one. And until next time, stay heavy.